So, off camera, I realized I needed to grind so I had 100,000 yen before leaving this dungeon, so I fought enemies around the stairs in the entrance hall until I found an all-high pixie encounter. Now, I said before that these are great for grinding money, and that's because high pixies can't really do anything except put you to sleep, heal themselves, or summon more high pixies. So if it's just them on the field, there's really nothing they can do to you, and you can just keep knocking them down until you run out of ammo. In fact, if using Makoto, she has nuclear skills to hit their weakness, so if you let her keep falling asleep and replenishing her SP that way, you can potentially keep this going indefinitely. So yeah, basically, I just extort them out of money over and over and over again until I get bored and or I run out of ammo. And as you can see here, yep, almost 60,000 yen from a single fight. I find all high pixie encounters are most likely to occur around this part of the dungeon right here.
Hey, look!
So if we leave the dialogue here, this elevator is going to keep going down and the conversation won't be done by the time we're at the bottom.
What the hell? Are these all vaults? How messed up is this guy?
We're supposed to check all of these for the treasure? Hold on. This distinct shape. Could it be...
What's the matter?
If my prediction is correct, we won't need to check every single one of these small vaults. For real? That is, I hope. I'll explain why once I've confirmed my theory. I seriously hope so too.
So the good news is we don't have to check every individual one of these vaults. The bad news is, it's still going to be pretty tedious.
I can see it.
So our objective is to solve the mystery of the pin.
This feeling... There might be a safe room around here.
But first, there's a safe room.
This looks usable. Let's take a break, Joker.
In fact, I believe this is actually the last safe room in the palace.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not a lot of them, but you'll have to return to the same ones quite often. Nobody's commenting on that previous fight, or the fact that Kaneshiro was right there. Well, they might now. Let's see, how's our progress? Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Yeah, she's pretty eager to do that.
Nice.
Makes sense.
What are your thoughts?
But yeah, this may be the last hurdle of this palace, but it's a pretty big hurdle.
Let's do it. Let's get back to...
So this right here. This just says the Bank of Kaneshiro, as always.
What?
Personal identification number. Rich. Yeah, again, Kaneshiro not the deepest of people.
Indeed.
R equals C equals 0, I equals 1, H equals 2. So we have all the letters of rich here. So in this case, we would have 0 for R, 1 for I, 0 for C, and 2 for H. So 0, 1, 0, 2 should be it.
Agreed.
And yeah, you can access it from your key items at any time.
Indeed.
So okay, let's try punching this in. 0, 1, 0, 2. Enter. Correct! I like how you actually do punch it in on, the screen. It doesn't just open up a dialogue box. Or these are his memories, maybe. Yeah. Kind of like what they wanted to do with the will seeds, but they sort of scrapped it. There's no unused will seed flashbacks for Kaneshiro, by the way. What a douche. Ryuji always tells it like it is.
That aside.
So that one was easy, but these pin puzzles actually get a bit more elaborate as you go further in, which I like. But what a lot of people don't like is what's about to happen. So, yeah. You see how we're in this room? And if we go down one, like just a couple of floors, the treasure's right there. So you think, oh yeah, we're pretty much done with this dungeon, right? No. Far from it. Because once we open this vault, we're in an entire underground area. And there's one of these for each tier of this gigantic vault. So we've got at least 3 more of them to go through. Yeah, this is where things start getting a little bit overly long and tedious. And unlike a lot of other dungeons, like, Royal streamlined most of the dungeons. And they did not streamline this one. They didn't cut down... In fact, they may have even cut down this one, I'm not sure. But, like, as far as I remember, they didn't really make this one any shorter, while they did do that for a lot of the other dungeons, so... It's kind of an infamous one, and yeah, this is where it can get a little tricky to make it through here without running out of SP. So yeah, I now have 160,000 yen, give or take, and that's gonna be probably all I need for the moment. Yeah, she's gonna figure things out later. For now, though, I want... not Makoto, she's already in the party. I want Morgana back in the party. I'm pretty sure there's going to be things that are weak to ice, like, in this area too, but there is something fairly dangerous that's weak to wind around here, so yeah, I want him back, and yeah, my SP is a little different than it used to be thanks to doing some pixie grinding. But okay then, let's move on to the first vault layer. Yeah, underground vault, first floor, there's a lot more here. And this is kind of why this version of Price, I'm not as hugely into it, because also those security cameras are back, but we also have the on and off security cameras. They're really bringing back all the mechanics here, but yeah, oh, hi there. Oh, I probably have to fight you. But yeah, you're going to be hearing the other version of Price a lot, because this area will be spending a long time in. Okay, that's decent. So, concentrated Scio with an attack buff, and I didn't even need the technical.
Do not move a muscle.
When are you going next?
Who's next?
I wonder if I can just Scio it again while it's down. That might actually do more than all our attack would. Oh, crap, you're going next, and I can't. This is why I probably should have status it again, and the Morgana's in the party, which is bad, because it's gonna get one more. Yep, it's gonna get one more. Yeah, this is why you always have to not get cocky and always have to status ailment them.
What was that?
Next up.
And it's immediately going again. If this doesn't finish it, though, I may be able to get a negotiation. Well, nope, it finished it.
Victory is ours.
You know, like, technically speaking, I really should just reload from the save point after that happened, but, you know, I'll take it. I'll just use a little bit more SP on healing. I got a surplus of SP from farming those pixies earlier. It's... well, I would say it's fine. It's not really fine, but it's okay. You know, actually, one thing that probably could be a decent option if you just need SP top-ups in a pinch is swapping the Ring of Lust over to Ryuji, and that way you can use his SP to heal.
I have something.
So yeah, that can be a useful tip, but we do have a fuse box here. I'm guessing that's gonna, yeah, that's gonna take out the cameras on the front side of this room. However, we do have some vault doors we can open up, but there's an enemy in here. It's in red too, but it got an ambush on it. Now, if it's red, is this gonna be what I think it is? Yes, it is. It's Rakshasas, or Battle Thieves. I can't even recruit them at this point. These are the things I was talking about that are weak to winds. So maybe I could actually Garu them. Got intense focus on that too. Yeah, they hit pretty hard, and they can take a lot of punishment, so I would recommend having Morgana here or a Wind Persona on Joker for this.
Okay, guys.
Need to level up once more before I can try and recruit them. Let's go ahead and Magaru. This should definitely finish it, and we'll get to see Morgana's all-out attack finisher. I like pressing triangle like immediately when the hold-up starts so that I just transition into this directly. You know, something that I don't think I've actually mentioned yet is that one of Morgana's all-out attack lines actually got censored in Smash Brothers. He's supposed to say... well, in the game he says time for some bloodshed, but I guess you can't have that in Smash Bros, so he instead says time for some brutality. So, as you can see here, there's some footprints leading up to, this console here.
Joker.
And just opens that shutter.
Yes!
Nothing particularly... Oh. Protect the golden pig at all costs. I'm sorry, but the golden pig is like standing right next to us, so you've kind of already failed at that.
You notice?
Torn page 1.
This is...
I guess the first must have been torn page 0. P equals I. So, yeah, remember when I said this puzzle gets more elaborate? That's why.
Nice!
At least he actually locked up these journal pages. Okay, there is one more shadow around here, so I'm gonna have to be a little cautious. I think we've pretty much seen almost every enemy that can show up in here, and yeah, the dogs are always Orthrus, but they're probably always gonna be 2 Orthruses this late in. Oh yeah, 2 Orthruses plus something else.
Now's our chance to strike! Use our opportunity! Pass the baton and follow up!
Go on, strike!
Got 2 of them all balanced!
With me!
Use some nice technique!
I don't see that quote from Morgana often. Unfortunately, there's no, like, award or trophy for, hearing a certain number of Morgana lines, because if there was, it would be easier than the equivalent in Persona 4 with Risei. There are generally a lot more, like, I feel like it's easier to prompt unique Navigator voice clips in this game compared to Persona 4. The main thing you want to be aware of is the fact that, like, there are different voice clips for knocking down enemies, hitting a weakness while an enemy is already down, and defeating a certain number of enemies for every party member.
I can feel it.
That was an easy battle.
Okay, let's grab that. And let's move on. So we have this here. Reap is written on this one. That's what people call me. Why? Because they all die. That's gonna mean nothing to people who haven't played No More Heroes 2, but yeah. And this is why that whole farm idea that I had previously could actually work as a palace. Also, get used to people describing palace rulers as truly rotten to the core, because that's kind of common. So, we have Reap here. R-E-A-P. And we have Kaneshiro's journal and torn page 1. So we know R, I, C, H, and P. We don't know E right now, though, so we might have to come back for that one later, because we've got a locked vault door there. And yes, it looks like we have a higher area here, so there's something that I really wanted to talk about with this dungeon, but I kind of feel like I have to go into it later because I want to show one more of those Kaneshiro pin conversations first. What do we got here? Oh wow, a whole lot of these things.
Okay.
You know what I should actually do? I just thought of this. I'll probably do it off camera, but I like to rearrange, like I thought about this when Arn leveled up. I like to rearrange my party members' skills around once they learn better ones, because I like to have like Agilao next to regular Agi and Maragi. Like I like to group all the attacking skills together, all the healing skills together, all the buffing skills together, just so that I can have easy access to them when I need them.
Pass the
Persona!
Follow up!
Goemon, strike!
Got two of them off balance!
Let us strike!
You have some nice technique! Okay, guys, ready, do it!
Oh, that one actually did finish everything.
We've done it!
Plus, the menus just look nicer with everything neat like that. I will definitely appreciate more thick parchment. More crafting materials are always good, and I can recruit Rakshasa now, so
Okay.
I'll want to go ahead and do that.
That's all it takes for me.
Yeah, here we can jump back. I suppose that's kind of a shortcut, but we've got another piggy bank here. And if this contains the E, yep, E equals 9 and A equals 3. But yeah, we didn't have A before either.
Nice.
So, I think we already have everything we need to solve this particular mystery. Oh, and thankfully, this put us right back, here. Yeah, see, sometimes I do like how, I mean, I suppose it's kind of in a way a linear path, but I do kind of like it sometimes when dungeons just, you know, they loop back around like this. There is, however, something on this floor that I did not go to. Alright, that's just because I didn't try jumping up here. I don't think there's anything important here. Oh, I was wrong. There's a chest here. Good thing I did this. Model gun. Yeah, that'll just let us make a gun in the Velvet Room, which is good because guns made via itemization are typically better than anything you can buy from Untouchable, as EY probably doesn't like. Anyway, so we've got REAP, and now in our items, thankfully, Kaneshiro's journal and the torn pages all go in the same area. So P equals I, and I is 1. E is 9, A is 3. So we have 0, 9, 3, 1. That should be it. And that opens up phase 2 of the vaults. We'll be repeating this quite a few times.
Yes.
I really don't want to sound like I don't enjoy this part of the dungeon, but I mean, this is a part where I can kind of see that some people wouldn't really like it, and I'm not the biggest fan of it either. I do feel like Royal should have cut this down.
Let's go.
So now that we've got that conversation, I wanted to talk about this tangent that it's not really a tangent, honestly. It's something that I've been wanting to say about this dungeon for a while. Let's go back and save, though. And I guess there might be a new conversation.
All right.
Oh, Rouge, you had something new to say there.
This is amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that, like, this place, it's kind of suffers from bigger on the inside syndrome. Because the bank definitely didn't look like it had this many basement floors from what we saw of it from the outside. The worst kind of fantasy, but yeah.
What are your thoughts? Shall we go?
I mean, I could make a cynical comment about how
Oh, man.
Kamoshida's palace is kind of like what most medieval fantasy is like these days, but anyway. Yeah, I suppose I'll talk about that if I have nothing better to talk about, because I do have something better to talk about right now, and that is the fact that, you know what? Joker has ice. I guess I can give Arn a little bit of... Ryuji needs experience more, though. Oh, well, Joker's gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting in this case, but I like to keep everyone's levels as even as possible.
Ready?
So, sorry about getting distracted there. The main thing that I wanted to talk about is Kaneshiro, and why a lot of people don't like the Kaneshiro arc, and why I like it more than a lot of people do. This has actually been kind of interesting because I've noticed throughout this playthrough, I tend to be quite isolated when it comes to my opinions in fandoms. Like, overall, I won't really, like, I'll be aware of the broad fandom opinions, but in general, a lot of my engagement with, like, works that I like tends to be fairly separately from their fan bases. And I don't really often discuss stuff, like, outside of my actual videos. This is a place where it could be quite easy to get spotted thanks to all of these, bars. So, what I'm trying to say is that until I actually started this series and looked at comments, I didn't realize just how much a lot of people dislike this arc. And, or at the very least, I didn't quite realize just how atypical it was that I liked this arc. With Madarame, I kind of had a feeling that some people may have shared my opinions that the arc was a little bit underrated. Like, honestly, I feel like the main problem with the Madarame arc is it just came after the Kamoshida one, and so it always just kind of suffered from the whole tough act to follow thing. This arc doesn't. The reason why people criticize this arc is more, a few things. I do admit that I do think this arc takes a little while to get into the real meat of the actual arc itself. I think there are way too many plot scenes in the lead up to it. The whole Makoto and the principal stuff, it's good, but I feel like they drag it out a little bit too long. I like that they give you enough information on Makoto, like from outside of the Thieves' perspective, so that you can feel sympathy for her and realize that she isn't quite the just, you know, toady that they think she is. I've only kind of learned about that word relatively recently. But at the same time, I do think it runs on a little long, and, like, yeah, this palace definitely took, like, more videos to get to the actual palace portion of the arc than the previous two, and I think that does really say something. I probably should try and recruit a Rakshasa here, and in that case, I'll probably have to temporarily stop what I'm saying to, or I could show this. Show me the money. Huh, that's a lot of yen, huh? But you know what? I'm not satisfied. I'm sorry, I meant your money and your life. Yeah, I've always known you could do this, I just hadn't found a good opportunity to show it off until now. But yes, you can just get some money and then just go for the all-out attack. I feel mean doing it, but it's an option.
Alright.
I felt the difference in strength in that fight.
For some reason that's a Makoto line that's always kind of stuck with me. So, yeah, like, that's one issue that I do have with it. But another issue that a lot of people have with this arc, that I don't really, is Kaneshiro himself. Now, a lot of people say that he is the weakest palace ruler in the game as far as villains go. And honestly, I completely agree. Kaneshiro is just a flat hate sink with no redeeming qualities whatsoever, and, like... Sorry, I just need to figure out how to get up to there so I can get that treasure chest. I don't want to leave any chests behind. Oh, right, actually, it was simpler than I thought it was. Well, I'm going to kill these cameras first. Also, the other problem a lot of people have with Kaneshiro is not only do you not even physically meet him until relatively late into the whole arc. In fact, this is kind of spoiling things, but that one whole encounter with where he blackmails you for 3 million yen, that is the only time you ever physically meet Kaneshiro's real-world self as the Phantom Thieves. They never have any physical contact with him otherwise. And the other thing about him that many people think is an issue is the fact that... Okay, Goldfest is kind of good, but... You know what? Actually, Joker has needed something better for a while, so let's equip that. Okay, with that deactivated, we can now grab this to get an alert capsule. And there's a little more in there, though, but I want to actually do the stuff up the top of here first. Because we have this... Sorry, I'm going to have to temporarily stop my discussion of Kaneshiro because we have this gold shiny door. This is a gimmick of this area. Good morning. This entrance is strictly for Kaneshiro Bank employees. For entry, please display your keycard and pay 10,000 yen. Yep, even the people who work for him have to pay.
I
I guess that's what he was saying about the whole reaping quotas. I'm sure he takes a pretty big cut of what his agents bring back.
What do you want to do?
So, you actually can pay here, and I've got footage of what that looks like from New Game Plus. It's honestly not as interesting as you would think, though. But the game really wants you to say screw that and instead find a different way around to avoid having to pay. And you know, that's very much in line with what the Phantom Thieves want to do, so I'm going to be doing that. But like, 10,000 yen is not terrible, especially if you have the Sun Confidant at least rank 3. So what I was saying about Kaneshiro is that he feels very impersonal. Like, he has kind of more of a beef with Makoto's sister than with Makoto herself. And a lot of people don't like that because Kaneshiro and Madarame were both intensely personal affairs with their arcs. You know, if you're gonna keep giving me this, I'm gonna keep going for it. I'll recruit you some other day. And I do get that the personal element of those arcs, it definitely made things, I'm not sure if I'd say exactly more interesting in my opinion, but, like, to many people's opinion, it did make things, more, like, I suppose it's always good when it's personal with a villain. Trying to see if I had any, full party wind attack items. I don't think I do, so I'm just gonna baton pass back to Morgana and just Magaru everything again. Always said Magarula. For some reason, Magarula is so fun to say that I always think I have it when I don't. But, I'm going somewhere with this, trust me. And where I'm going is... Here's the thing. As the title, the admittedly very clickbaity title of this video says, Kaneshiro is not deep. He is not personal. And I think that's okay. The reason why I think that's okay, this arc is not about Kaneshiro. Kaneshiro exists to facilitate this arc, not the other way around. Like, the Kamoshida and to a lesser extent Madarame arcs were very, very heavily focused on those two specific characters. Like, you could not have the Kamoshida arc without Kamoshida. That was very much about him, and his effects on the school, and his effects on Arn and Shiva, and everybody he was abusing. With Kaneshiro, though, as I said, this arc is not about him. It's not even really about Makoto, to be honest. And some people might not like that either, but to kind of jump the gun a bit, Makoto gets her fair share of screen time outside of this arc. She's kind of one of the most prominent members of the Phantom Thieves plot-wise, so her arc not really giving her a lot of spotlight, like, personally, I think also is not terrible.
I spotted a strong one.
Uh-oh.
What are you gonna do?
Gonna have to concentrate here, and I'm probably also gonna have to use an SP healing item here just to make sure that I have enough. So, if this arc isn't about Kaneshiro, and it's not about, Makoto, what is this arc about? To me, this arc is about one thing, and it started with the scene with Akechi at the TV studio. This arc is about what those tooltips say, proving the Phantom Thieves' justice to society. This arc is about reassuring the public that the Phantom Thieves are a force for good, and not just random vigilantes who are doing this to feel empowered or for selfish reasons. Kaneshiro was the perfect target to facilitate this kind of thing, to facilitate this kind of reaction in the general public. Because Kaneshiro is a dangerous mob boss, it's obvious what he's doing is awful, he's been causing a lot of suffering to a lot of innocent people, and the police have had a hard time catching him. And that kind of thing is exactly what the Phantom Thieves' MO is good for.
The enemy's weak. Now's our chance.
That's what the Phantom Thieves hope to do. They hope to bring to justice people who have evaded the law for too long, and people who... and to, you know, protect people in trouble, people who are suffering...
Okay.
Persona!
and give courage to, I don't like saying the weak. It's kind of an aspect of one of the characters in Shin Megami Tensei, actually not Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Slayer 2 that I don't like. Even though I broadly like his ideology better than his counterpart, which is not a common opinion, but I don't like the fact that he refers to everyone as the weak, because I don't believe that anybody is weak. I mean, people can be... Or moreover, that I don't believe anybody should be called weak just because they're being abused or oppressed by someone. It's not their fault that they're being oppressed. It's the oppressor's fault for doing it. That got into a different direction than I expected, but you get what I'm saying. So Kaneshiro exists to be a flat, one-dimensional hate-sink villain for the Thieves to take down to prove to the public that they are on the side of good. And again, that's what I think this arc is about. And the reason why I like it so much is that it really kind of plays into what I like in heist stories and what I like in Phantom Thief stories. I've always been kind of a fan of, like, good-hearted thieves who, you know, in general, I've always just been a fan of people who are motivated by protecting people rather than just pure vigilantism or just motivated by making the bad guys pay, I guess.
I'll reveal your true form.
And it also really plays into my my Sly fanboyism as well, because this arc, as I've kind of said before in this dungeon, this could very easily be a Sly chapter. Like, you have a gang of thieves who are targeting a more powerful and more dangerous criminal.
It's yours, not over yet.
And even kind of vaguely working with law enforcement to assist in this. Because, like, Makoto isn't technically law enforcement, but another kind of reason why I like this arc, and something that I may go into later, because it kind of goes into something else that I like regarding Makoto. To me, Makoto is kind of, if this is Sly, the closest equivalent to Carmelita Fox. Sort of the way she acts in this arc. I guess technically Akechi as well, but I don't ship Joker and Akechi, so I don't see it that way. But I guess I may have kind of spoiled something. I wanted to kind of keep it vague for a while, but if you know me, you will already know who I'm choosing for the romance of this playthrough, and at this point it's kind of obvious. Yeah, we are going to be doing Makoto's romance route in this playthrough. And I've seen, like, speaking of, like, hot takes and that kind of thing, I have seen a lot of people say they don't like Makoto, and I think they're totally justified in this. Like, a lot of the things that this is part of why I like doing these playthroughs, because I like to see the comment sections, I like to see the different opinions that people have on these games. And it's been fascinating to read why people don't like her, and I'm totally okay with it, really. I think many people have very valid reasons for disliking her. Oh, hi there. Yeah, you can sometimes get treasure demons spawning out of treasure spots like that.
Hey, that's a rare one. Don't let it
So that's cool. I'm gonna have to spend a little bit of SP though to knock it down, which is unfortunate. Unless I get the feeling these things are immune to criticals. There are a lot of enemies in the game that are, well, yeah, immune to criticals.
You're mine.
I already have one of these though, so I think yes. But I am already within you. Any further exchange is meaningless. Oh, that means that if I do KO this, I might get one of my favorite Morgana Navigator lines that I think is one of the most underrated lines in the game because you don't see it very often. Okay, so I will say I have pretty much never ever seen a treasure demon run before. They're very generous with how long they stay in battle. Yep, still groaning. So it would be very embarrassing if I end up getting one to run for the first time on camera here.
What's the plan?
But
Go down.
Lots of treasure.
okay, I've never seen that one before. But still, Morgana's not done my favorite treasure demon defeating line, which is amazing.
That was an easy battle.
But yeah, so that's basically my opinion on this entire arc. Again, I'm kind of biased in liking it because again, it really does satisfy my Sly fanboyism. G equals P. Okay, well, we haven't really seen anything that has a G in it yet. But we also have another piggy bank over here. And yeah, this is the other side of this door.
Joker.
Also, I missed a great line from Yuji about breaking stuff has always worked before.
For real?
But yeah, we can now break that, and I only did that because the lock icon on the map was otherwise bugging me. And now we get the third torn page. U equals A. So now we have this, and this one on it, if we look closely, says huge. Okay, H-U-G-E. So we know H is 2. U equals A equals 3. So we have 2, 3. G equals P, which equals I, which equals 1. So 2, 3, 1. And then E is 9. So 2, 3, 1, 9. I hope I'm not doing that wrong. Hugs would be great. 2, 3, 1, 9. I mean, admittedly, it is English, and they're supposed to be speaking Japanese. Okay, I hope this is 2, 3, 1, 9. There we go, correct. Also, we're gonna get my favorite Kaneshiro rant here.
Yes!
This is enough. I need to have a huge presence. I mean, he does have a tiny bit of a backstory. But I'll talk more about that once we actually, you know, end things with him. I worried that I missed at least something in here. I don't think I did, but I'm gonna comb over this place once more just to make sure. So you might notice there is a red dot coming up.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, swerving the camera like that. Yeah, I've never really seen the inside of a lock, personally. But I'm gonna take her word for it here. Or if you use a lockpick and, like, do that whole minigame from one of the Elder Scrolls games. And if this whole thing is a lock, then maybe it's protecting something.
All right, let's go.
That's kind of clever design, admittedly. Okay, yeah, there's that there, and another thing in front of it, but yeah, if I'm remembering right about this, as I was saying, this thing we're about to fight is weak to Bless, which I don't know if I even have that on Joker right now. Oh, no, you have Koha. Okay. I sort of want to bring Arm back in for this. Finally needing to dip into my supply of energy drinks for once. But of course, I should probably go back and save first.
Let's go.
I think...
No, they haven't been that hard so far. I want to check to see if there's a new conversation here.
By the way...
Okay, there is one. Huh, this is actually kind of a creative, discuss. I don't think I've ever seen this one before.
Whoa.
I feel like I say that a lot, though. But I mean,
What are your
any of
thoughts?
these people could have had palaces if they'd gone down the wrong path in
Let
their
us be
lives. I'm sure there's an
should write
AU about that somewhere. Okay, saved. Let's take on this guy.
What do you want to do?
What I want to do? Well, I want to, well, since Yusuke's in the party, I want to, how do you want to do this? Yeah, I was right about this. This has always been one of the weirder designs to me, but yeah, life-draining spirit.
The opponent is strong. Don't do anything reckless.
Otherwise known as Kumhanda, I think.
Persona!
Now, are you vulnerable to this?
Okay.
You are, okay then. It just kind of looks like they need to go to the bathroom whenever they're on low health or status.
Don't do anything reckless.
Well, let's debuff your attack. Bloodbath. Yeah, that's physical damage with a chance of fear.
Persona!
But I need to go here. Korha.
You're mine.
So as of recording this, Soul Hackers 2 recently came out, and apparently Light and Dark, or whatever their equivalents are in that game, you know, they're sometimes called Bless and Curse, they're sometimes called Spell and Death, but, you know, Hammer and Mudo, basically, aren't even in that game. They're replaced with an element called Ruin. Okay, you... Hey, Joker's the only one you were allowed to say looks cool. Well, let's just Giant Slash you again. Okay, wow, that was supposed to be a mini-boss, apparently. Yeah, honestly, like, pretty much everything in Kaneshiro's palace, except maybe Kinky, is basically just a regular enemy disguised as a mini-boss.
Power courses through me.
Okay, Memory Blow, that has a chance of Forget, which, well, Makoto already has a high chance of Forget, so don't really need that much.
Try this skill soon.
You can't see it, but my mouth is kind of hanging open right now, because you know all the damage we've been doing with Giant Slice? We just got an even better version of it. So now we have this. We've got puzzles within puzzles now.
Hey.
Okay, what happens if we press the left button? Engages this thing. I always like the way that those things just plug in and then energize like that. And that turns that cylinder.
Oh.
And now with that, we can access a different switch. But Morgana has just said that he can sense a will seed.
It seems.
Now in this case, let's see what happens if we press left again. Off the top of my head, I don't remember exactly how to solve this puzzle. But doing 2 lefts is going to take us to the Will Seed. Yep, that's definitely the Will Seed. Because there's another mini-boss right there, and if you look closely, you can see the Will Seed chamber behind it. Okay, so technically I should do that now, but you know what? I think I'm not going to, because, yeah, I would rather save that for a little later. Also, yeah, I like to fast forward things there. So now that's set that way, we can press this switch the other way.
Joker.
And that opens up a path through the center for... Yep, guess what? There's another one of these. Underground vault entrance, 3rd floor, and this one's even more complicated than the last, so I think now might be a good time to call things, and we will continue through the vault next time, so I'll see you all then.